All right. Good morning, everyone. Can't put up my sun visor when I'm here at the airport, so I just put this to the side because I didn't think you guys wanted to just see like a black screen or anything. So while I am waiting for my next fare, I thought I would go ahead and get another reading done from Wisdom from the Bible. Daily thoughts from the Proverbs. Okay, so we are continuing with April 30th. Okay. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. Chapter 10, verse 8. The story is an old one, and love that is happening all too often, and one that is happening all too often. A couple prepared to leave a party where they had overindulged. The woman was drunk and her husband only slightly less so. As they began to put on their coats, a friend offered to drive them home. Insulted, the husband refused to even consider it. And boy, this is like so relevant with ride sharing. And I had people this morning who, were kind of inebriated, and instead of driving themselves, they did the smart thing, and I took them home. Okay, so the husband refused to even consider it. The husband and wife stumbled to their car amidst the protest of their friends. Despite the warnings and admonitions, the couple sped off in their car. As it rounded a tight curve, it swung out into the oncoming lane and struck another car. Though the husband and wife were only slightly hurt, the other driver and his son were killed. Foolish people refuse to recognize wisdom even when it is right in front of them. It doesn't matter who offers the suggestions. Both friends and foes are ignored. When our egos get in the way of clear thinking, we are on a pathway that leads away from God. God glories in the person who will listen to good advice and do what is right. God doesn't give us instruction in order to ruin our good time. His word is offered only to give everyone the chance to live life to the fullest. It is the wise in heart who receives instruction gladly. The fool stumbles down the road to destruction. And in this case, this is very, very sad. It's very, very sad. And yeah. Unplug my ears, O Lord, and let me hear the wisdom of those who care for me. Destroy my foolish pride and lead me to paths of good sense and smart choices. Keep me from hurting myself and others. May 1st. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. Chapter 10, verse 9. The stone face of the mountain seemed to stretch upward forever. It had a magnetic effect on the boys who had come to the camp. All of them were anxious to have the chance to climb to the top. The counselors warned them not to try it by themselves. But each year some foolish soul tried it anyway. This year was no different. While part of the group went to the ball field for softball, two of the youths snuck off to attempt the climb. Before long they gave up, unable to master the tricky cliff. The next afternoon, the counselors took the boys on the climb, and everyone made it. The older boys, who had made the climb hundreds of times before, guided the younger boys, telling them where to hold and where to step. When we who walk this earthly road get into trouble, we often do not have the good sense to listen to those who have walked our road before us. There is nothing wrong with relying on the help of others to make it through life. God is the author of all life, and it makes sense that we should turn to him in times of trial or difficulty. When we don't, we cannot be surprised that we don't make it through. Our help is always in the Lord. I try my best to get through life, O Lord, but often I find myself at a halt. I don't know where to turn, where to step, what to hold on to. In those times, Father, help me to remember that you are there to guide me. May 2nd. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. Chapter 10, verse 10. Her uncle had been a wonderful storyteller. In fact, she had never known when to believe him and when to know he was kidding. She had believed the stories of the Amazon and the war, and even his days as a pro baseball player. She had thought her uncle could do anything. It had been devastating when she had found out that he was alcoholic and that he would have to be put into an institution. In the years that passed, she had found out that her uncle had never been to the Amazon, had never played pro ball, and he had even been turned down by the Army. She never really got over her disillusionment, and it made her skeptical of everyone she met. She lost faith in heroes. Each of us has had a tall tale to tell at some point in our lives. With tongue in cheek, we have put someone on. There is nothing wrong with pulling someone's leg so long as it isn't a way of life, and that we don't do damage by our untruth. We need to be able to trust others. And I would say, if you're joking with somebody, before you leave the company of that person, you tell them, no, I was just joking. Here's what really happened. We need honesty, and other people need to be honest, need to be able to trust us. Honesty is a valuable virtue. We have the power to change lives when we speak the truth. If we tell people fables, we lose credibility and weaken our power to help them. Help me that I never undermine the faith that others have in me. Let me be honest and open so that I might have the opportunity to make a difference in their lives. May 3rd. In the lips of him that hath understanding, wisdom is found. For a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Chapter 10, verse 13. The old farmer pulled at the leather rein which dangled from the mule's mouth, but the mule dug her hooves into the soft earth and resisted his efforts. The farmer spoke coaxing words to the mule, but she refused to budge. In spite of all the farmer's efforts, the old mule held her ground. In frustration, the old man pulled a branch from a hickory tree, stripped off the bark, and fashioned a switch from it. Moving around the mule to her hindquarters, the farmer swung back and laid a stinging stripe along the mule's backside. Without hesitation, the mule was up and moving, motivated by the tender memory of the moment before. Often God tries to gently lead us along the paths of righteousness and goodness, but we resist. Like we kick against the pricks. Many times the only way our attention can be gotten is through a stinging blow. It is never offered out of anger, but always out of love. No parent who loves his or her child ever strikes them to hurt them. If they strike them at all, it is to help them learn. God never does anything to try to hurt us. Every action of God's is an action of love. Forgive me that I am often resistant and stubborn. Break my spirit of defiance, no matter what it takes, so that I might openly receive every instruction that you give. May 4th. He is in the way of life that keepeth instruction, but he that refuseth reproof erreth. Chapter 10, verse 17. The judge watched carefully to see where his golfing partners were. Confident that he wasn't seen, he gave his ball a hefty kick. The ball traveled forward about 25 feet onto a soft patch of close cropped grass in direct line with the green. He saw nothing wrong with it. He had done it as long as he had golfed, and he told himself that his partners did it too. On this occasion, a booming voice cried out, "Hey, what are you trying to pull? Your ball was in the trees." A precocious verbal battle ensued, with both sides accusing the other side of cheating. Regardless of guilt, the judge always defended himself completely. We really do kid ourselves when we think cheating is a way to get ahead. There is nothing to be gained by cheating. Our victories are empty ones, and we open ourselves to criticism and doubt. We lose our credibility and turn people against us. It is in honesty and truth that we find fulfillment. God dwells in truth, and he loves honesty. This is the way of life, but the way of death is through sin. I'm sorry for the ways that I try to get ahead by dishonesty. I am not honest with myself, and then I am not honest with you. Forgive my deceptions and lead me in the light of your truth, O God, now and forever. May 5th. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. Chapter 10, verse 19. The board meeting had dragged on and on. Every person seemed to have an opinion that they wanted to share. The chairperson had aired her views a number of times. She droned on and on about the point she was trying to make. The rest of the staff were no different. A lot of words were spoken, but very little was being said. The program coordinator raised his hand and asked to be recognized. He had not said a word throughout the whole long discussion, but now he broke silence. He spoke slowly and deliberately, saying a few simple sentences, but he brought a hush over the entire room. He spoke the truth, and everyone saw the virtue of his argument immediately. That was the way he had always been. It is a true gift to be able to listen and speak carefully. Too often we speak just to hear our own voices. People rarely get in trouble for saying too little. It is when they say too much that they feel regret. Jesus often sat and listened to the people. He let all sides speak their piece, then he would reply. His answers were direct, short, and to the point. People trusted him because he said nothing more than what was needed. Would that we could learn to do likewise. Please make me slow to speak, quick to listen, and grant me the wisdom to speak as Christ would. Fill my mouth with your Holy Spirit. And then the last reading for this video is May 6th. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. Chapter 10, verse 21. The young woman sat enthralled by the words of the young preacher. She had attended church with her parents when she was young, but she found it boring and stupid. She had managed to avoid church for years, but she began to feel a longing deep inside, and its nagging had led her to this place. The boredom she remembered from her youth was gone. The truth of the preacher's words touched her at the very root of her soul. Tears rolled down her face as she realized all that she had missed over the years. Her heart beat with joy that she at long last felt as though she had come home. When words of truth are spoken from the heart, they reach out to people to give them a rich blessing. It is important that we ask the Spirit of God for guidance as we speak. When we allow God's words to spring from our mouths, we become agents for his glory here on earth. We have in our power the ability to feed those who find themselves spiritually hungry. May we use that power wisely and well. Lord, I so want to serve you in all ways. Take my words and make them yours. Pour out your grace through my lips and make my speech a blessing to those who hear. Amen. Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave it there for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. God bless.